In an extraordinary mystical experience, Saint Bridget praises the virtues and spectacular beauty of the Most Blessed Virgin. Our Lady grants many graces, as well as many other good things, both from herself and from the apostles and saints. Then the Lord compares his mother to a goldsmith. Finally, in another heavenly vision, Saint Agnes offers spiritual warfare advice and the importance of not relapsing in sin. Virgo Potens presents Prophecies and Revelations of Saint Bridget of Sweden, Book 4, Chapters 18 through 20. Chapter 18. O sweet Mary, says Saint Bridget, blessed are you with an eternal blessing, for you were a virgin before childbirth, a virgin after childbirth, a virgin together with your spouse, and undoubted virgin for a doubting spouse. So blessed are you, for you are mother and virgin, God's dearest one, purer than all the angels, the one most full of faith in the company of the apostles, alone in the bitterest sorrow of your heart, whose abstinence outshines that of all the confessors, whose chaste continence excels that of all the virgins. So may all things up above and down below bless you, for through you God the Creator became man. Through you the righteous find grace, sinners find pardon, the dead find life, the exiled return to their homeland. The Virgin answers, It is written that when Peter bore witness to my Son and called him the Son of God, he received the answer, Blessed are you, Simon, for body and blood have not revealed this to you. So I say now, this salutation was not revealed to you by your bodily soul, but by him who was without beginning and is without end. Be therefore humble, and I will be merciful to you. John the Baptist, as he promised, will be gentle to you. Peter will be mild, and Paul strong as a giant. John the Baptist is going to say to you, Daughter, sit on my lap. Peter will say, My daughter, open your mouth, and I shall feed you with sweet food. Paul will dress you up and arm you with the arms of love. And I, who am the mother, will present you to my Son. But, my daughter, you can understand all this even in a spiritual sense. John, whose name means the grace of God, denotes true obedience. He was and is sweet and gentle indeed, sweet to his parents for his wondrous grace, sweet to humankind for his extraordinary preaching, sweet to God for his holiness of life and obedience. He was obedient in his youth, obedient in fortune and misfortune, obedient and constantly humble when he might have been honored, obedient, too, in his death. This is why obedience says, Sit on my lap. That means, rise to lowly things, and you will have lofty ones. Give up bitter things, and you will get sweet ones. Give up your own will if you want to be little. Despise earthly things, and you will become heavenly. Despise superfluity, and you will have spiritual abundance. Peter denotes holy faith, the faith of the Holy Church. Just as Peter remained steadfast until the end, so too the faith of the Holy Church will remain steadfast without end. This is why Peter, that is, the Holy Faith, says, Open your mouth and you will have good food. This means, open the intellect of your soul, and in the Holy Church you will find the sweetest of foods, that is, the very body of the Lord in the sacrament of the altar, the new and the old law, the teachings of the doctors, the patience of the martyrs, the humility of the confessors, the pureness of the virgins, and indeed the foundation of all the virtues. Accordingly, seek the holy faith in the Church of St. Peter. Keep in mind the sought-after faith, and then put it into practice. Paul denotes patience, for he was zealous toward those who fought against holy faith, joyful in hardships, long-suffering in hope, patient in infirmities, compassionate with those in pain, humble in virtues, hospitable with the poor, merciful toward sinners, the teacher and master of all, persevering in the love of God until the end. Thus Paul, that is, patience, will arm you with the arms of the virtues, for true patience, founded upon and strengthened by the examples and patience of Christ and his saints, enkindles the love of God in the heart, makes the spirit burn for strong action, renders a man humble, mild, merciful, zealous for heaven, mindful of himself, and persevering in the tasks undertaken. And so, the Mother of Mercy shall introduce to my son everyone whom obedience nourishes in the lap of humility, everyone whom the faith feeds with the food of sweetness, everyone whom patience dresses in the arms of virtue, and my son will crown that person with his sweet crown. In him is incomprehensible strength, incomparable wisdom, unspeakable goodness, wonderful love. Then no one will be able to snatch that person away from his hand. But, my daughter, though I am speaking to you, yet by you I mean all of those who follow the holy faith with deeds of love. Just as by the one man, Israel, all Israelites were meant, so by you are understood all the true faithful. Saint Bridget's words to Our Lady in praise of her virtue and beauty, and the Virgin's answer confirming her praise, and the son's comparison of his mother to a goldsmith. Chapter 19. Sweet Mary, fresh beauty, shining beauty, come and listen to me, so that my ugliness may be purified, and my love enkindled. Your beauty gives me 3 gifts to the head. First, the cleansing of the memory so that God's words enter smoothly. Second, the pleasant retention of the words heard. Third, their zealous communication to one's neighbor. Your beauty also grants 3 things to the heart. First, it removes the heavy burden of sloth when your love and humility are contemplated. Second, it brings tears to the eyes when your poverty and patient suffering are brought to mind. Third, it gives the heart a sweet inner fire when the memory of your devotion is sincerely recalled. Truly, my lady, you are the most precious beauty, the most desirable beauty, for you are the help given to the sick, the comforter in sorrow, everyone's mediator. Thus, all those who have heard that you would be born, and those who know you to have already been born, can surely exclaim, Come, beauty most splendid, and light up our darkness. Come, beauty most precious, and take away our reproach. Come, beauty most sweet, and lessen our bitterness. Come, beauty most powerful, and undo our captivity. Come, beauty most fair, and destroy our foulness. Therefore, may such great beauty be blessed and reverenced, the beauty that all the patriarchs longed to see, of which all the prophets sang, in which all the elect rejoice. The mother answers, May God, my beauty, be blessed. It is he who has given you such words to speak. And so I tell you that the most ancient beauty, the eternal and highest beauty, which made and created me, shall be your comfort. The beauty that is oldest and yet new, renewing all things, which was in me and was born of me, shall teach you wonders. The most desirable beauty, which gives joy and delight to all, shall inflame the spirit of your love. So trust in God, for when the heavenly beauty appears, all earthly beauty will crumble and be regarded as dung. Then God's Son said to his mother, O blessed Mother, you are like a goldsmith preparing a beautiful object. All those who see the object are filled with gladness and present precious stones or gold in order to perfect it. Thus, dear Mother, you offer help to everyone struggling to rise to God, and leave no one without your consolation. You can therefore well be called the blood of the heart of God. Just as each member of the body receives life and strength from the blood, so too everyone comes to life again after sin and is made more fruitful before God through you. Saint Agnes's lesson to Saint Bridget about not relapsing and not advancing properly, and about the right way to begin or continue with abstinence, and about what kind of continence is pleasing to God. Chapter 20. Saint Agnes speaks. Daughter, stand firm and do not relapse, for a serpent lies at your heels ready to bite. Yet do not rush unduly ahead either, for the tip of a sharp lance is in front of you, and if you advance at the wrong speed, you will be wounded. What does a relapse mean, if not letting trials lead to regrets about having taken on a more austere and wholesome way of life, and to a desire of returning to old habits, and delighting the mind with dirty thoughts? Such thoughts, even if they give some pleasure to the mind, only obscure every good thing, and by degrees lead away from all goodness. Nor should you rush unduly ahead, that is, punish yourself beyond your strength, or imitate the good works of others beyond your capacity. God has ordained from eternity that heaven should be open to sinners through works of love and humility, yet by preserving moderation and discretion in every way. Now then, the envious devil persuades the imperfect man to fast beyond his strength, to promise to do unaccustomed things that he cannot manage, to desire to imitate more perfect models without considering his own strengths and weaknesses. The devil does this either in order that, when the man's strength fails him, he should continue with his badly begun vows out of human embarrassment rather than for the sake of God, or in order that he should quickly give up the struggle because of his indiscretion and weakness. For this reason, use as your measure your own self, that is, your strengths and weaknesses, since some people are stronger by nature, others weaker, some more fervent by the grace of God, others keener due to good habits. Hence, regulate your life in agreement with the advice of God-fearing men, so that the serpent does not sting you due to your thoughtlessness, and so that the poisonous tip of the sword, that is, the poisonous suggestion of the devil, does not delude your mind, so as to make you want to seem more than you are, or long to become something beyond your strength and powers. There are, indeed, some people who believe they can reach heaven by their own merits, and God spares them from the devil's temptations due to his hidden plan. There are others who think that they can make reparation to God for their transgressions with their own works. The error of all these is altogether damning, for even if a person were to kill his body 100 times over, he could not make up 1,000th of the account he owes to God, because it is God who gives us the ability and the will, seasons and health, who fills us with a desire for the good, who gives us riches and honor, who kills and gives life, raises up and lays low. All things are in his hand. Hence to him alone should all honor be given, and no one deserves to be counted for anything before God. Since you are wondering about the lady who came for indulgences but was corrupted, I answer you. There are some women who have the virtue of continence but do not love it. They experience neither a great longing for pleasure nor violent temptation. If honorable proposals of marriage were made to them, they would accept. However, since no great offers are made to them, they look down on lesser offers. In this way, continence sometimes gives rise to pride and presumption, which, by divine permission, leads to a fall, such as you have now heard. If a woman were so minded as not to want to be stained even once, not even if the whole world were offered her, it would be impossible for such a woman to be left to shame. If, however, in his secret justice, God permitted such a one to fall, it would rather lead to her reward than to sin, provided that she fell against her will. Know then that God is like an eagle that from on high views everything down below. If an eagle should see anything rising up from the ground, it immediately swoops down and snatches it. If it catches sight of something poisonous coming against it, it would pierce it like an arrow. If something unclean is dropped on it from above, it gets rid of it with a great shake, just like a goose does. God acts like that as well. If he sees human hearts rising against him due to the weakness of the flesh or the devil's temptations against the will of the Spirit, he immediately swoops down through an inspiration of contrition and penance, and brings it to naught, making the person return to God and come to himself again. If the poison of carnal desire or greed enters the heart, God quickly pierces the mind with the arrow of his love, so that the person does not persevere in sin and get separated from God. If some impurity of pride or the dirt of lust defiles the spirit, he shakes it quickly off, just like a goose, through constant faith and hope, so that the spirit does not become hardened in vice, or the soul that is joined to God become stained unto damnation. Therefore, my daughter, in all your feelings and actions, consider God's justice and mercy, and always keep the end in sight.
Welcome to the Virgo Potens YouTube channel. If you enjoy this video, give it a like. I also invite you to subscribe to this channel so that you won't miss new content. Please prayerfully consider supporting my work by becoming a patron of Virgo Potens on Patreon and or by buying one of my books. My ebooks are available on Amazon as well as on the Apple Bookstore. For those who prefer a physical copy rather than an ebook, my book, Spiritual Warfare, Know Thy Enemy, is also available as a paperback on Amazon. If you are interested in making a one-time contribution, I suggest that you do so by simply buying one of my books. I am thankful for your support. Links to Patreon and to my books will be posted in the comments section of this video. The continuation of this work isn't possible without you. Lastly, and most importantly, please pray for me. May the Virgin Most Powerful guide and protect you.